Well, by now, you know, the walls are definitely closing in on New York Governor Andrew Cuomo after the Attorney General Tish James, who seems awfully interested in running for Cuomo's job herself, she came back with an independent investigation into a long list of sexual harassment allegations against the governor. I mean, this dude, he's on the ropes. He has virtually no allies. The left is, at the impeachment process is coming at him like a cheetah on coffee. Any major Democrat at the national and state level has basically called for him to resign, including Joe Biden. There's so many allegations. When she did this press conference, she read off like a menu. I just want you folks to strap in here, just grab a cup of coffee, sit back, relax, because I'm going to list them. All right, you probably don't have the time to do this stuff because you have jobs and you're normal people. So we reviewed the 160-plus page report here for you. It includes named and unnamed women's. And here are the cliff notes. All right, let's start with Executive Assistant number 1, as they call it, because some of these people are still unnamed. She outlined a pattern that includes, quote, close and intimate hugs and kisses on the cheeks, forehead, and at least one kiss on the lips, touching and grabbing of Executive Assistant number 1's butt during hugs, and inquiring multiple times about whether she had cheated or would cheat on her husband, and asking her to help find him a girlfriend. This is pathetic. Then at the executive mansion in November of 2020, when the governor, during another close hug, reached under her blouse and grabbed her by the breast. He just better be glad that's not my daughter. That's a crime. Full stop. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Remember, this was alleged while she was on the job. All right, Cuomo denies the allegation, but if it's true, that's a jailable offense, folks. Let's move on to the state trooper. I mean, look, rule number 1, just don't sexually assault a state trooper. That's just a baseline good idea. She was part of Cuomo's detail, which had been waived, obviously. She was only on the force for 2 years, and there was a requirement of 3 years, but she's among the allegations against Cuomo. Running his hand across her stomach from her belly button to her right hip while she held a door open for him at an event. Running his finger down her back from the top of her neck down to her spine to the middle of her back saying, "Hey you," while she was standing in front of him in an elevator. Kissing her on the cheek in front of another trooper and asking to kiss her on another occasion as well. Asking her to help him find a girlfriend also who could, quote, handle pain. It's just like, he asked her why she wanted to get married when married means your sex drive goes down. I mean, seriously, dude? This guy should just get a Tinder profile, put like 50 Shades of Grey in the title. So let's move on to state entity employee number 1. While Cuomo took a picture with her at a public event, quote, the governor put his hand on her butt, tapped it twice, and then grabbed her butt. State entity employee number 1 was shocked at the time and discussed it with a number of friends, family, and coworkers. So there's several people who back up the story. The report outlined several women, like experience of Virginia LIMMIATIS, during a rope line event. She wore a shirt and had the name of the energy company written across her chest. Cuomo ran 2 fingers across her chest, pressing down on each of the letters as he did and reading out the name. He read out the name of the energy company as he went. The governor then leaned in with his face close to Litmus's cheek and said, "I'm going to say I see a spider on your shoulder," before brushing his hand in the area between her shoulder and her breast. This is just like super corny. Miss LIMMIATIS she was obviously shocked, immediately informed a number of other attendees of what happened. She was shocked, but at this point, folks, should we be shocked? I mean, probably not. Remember Anna Rook? She met Cuomo at a wedding. He allegedly put his hand on her lower back, which she moved, and Cuomo told her, "Wow, you're aggressive," before he allegedly cupped her face and hands with his hands and said, "Can I kiss you?" Without waiting for a response, and as Rook tried to move and turn and run away, the governor kissed her left cheek. Her expression here just says absolutely everything. Then there's Charlotte Bennett, his former assistant, who confided in him that she was a sexual assault survivor, okay? Admits this vulnerability. She claims that Cuomo used her history to groom her for sex, as he asked her about her sex life and if she would ever date an older man. She reported to it as senior staff, and their alleged response, according to the AG's report, they moved Miss Bennett to a position where she would not need to interact with the governor and put in measures to keep the governor from being alone with junior female staffers. This is to protect the governor. They guarded this guy like a Biden handler. I mean, no one reported Ms. Bennett's allegations to the Government Office of Employee Relations. They just found some way to justify not reporting it. You know, we tell these people all the time, if we see something, say something, yet allegedly choose to protect Cuomo instead. The guy who, I mean, just a few months ago was hailed as a hero by nearly all Democrats as a potential 2024, candidate. He's the greatest governor. He gets an Emmy. $10 says they all knew this stuff was there. They had to have known. So let's move on to Lindsey Boylan's allegation. She was really the first person to publicly speak out about this. Cuomo physically touched her on her various parts of her body, including her waist, legs, and back, allegedly saying to her once on a plane the words to the effect of, "Okay, let's play strip poker." I mean, he kissed her on the cheeks and one occasion on the lips. Then the governor and the executive chamber actively engaged in an effort to discredit her, including disseminating to the press confidential intern documents that painted her in a negative light and circulated among a group of current and former executive chamber employees. Although not ultimately publishing, but a proposed op-ed or a letter disparaging Ms. Boylan at the governor personally participated in drafting. I mean, this is, if you're shocked by this is where it enters a whole new area of legal jeopardy for Cuomo and his staff. If he used a government office to retaliate against her, Cuomo could face severe legal consequences, and he should. I mean, Boylan's suing him right now, but we could go on with these accusations more, but this is only a 2-hour show, folks. Look, I was a victim of sexual assault as a child. I have zero tolerance for this garbage. If even half of this is true, I mean, half of what this report says is true. Governor Cuomo's actions, they're staggering. I mean, it's a shocking fall from grace, obviously, but for a governor who so many Americans fell in love with during this 2020 daily briefings, I mean, Hollywood gave him this Emmy, like we said. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. This is like a slobbering love of, no pun intended, but the media just oozed over this guy because Cuomo fought with Trump. I mean, he fought against Trump. So naturally, they put him up on a podium. So what does this mean now? I want to leave you with the closing words to Governor Cuomo himself from a 2013 tweet. Look at this. There should be zero tolerance policy when it comes to sexual harassment and must send a clear message that this behavior is not tolerated.
You just watched Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news channel, now in more than 70 million homes. You can get Newsmax TV on your cable system or check your cable guide. And if your system doesn't carry Newsmax, call them, tell them you want Newsmax TV, because we're real news for real people.